Should be live now. Let me check. Yeah. Live in mine.
Hello, everybody. I can't see. I'm live in mine. Yeah.
Hang on, let me put my comments up. Hey guys, when you're jumping on, please click on the link at the top, and then we'll be able to see you or see your name pop up. Otherwise, it just comes up as Facebook user. Okay. I will keep on checking my phone as well in case any of you comment straight through the page. But no, how are we all?
How is everybody? How
Welcome
are
to our
you?
third installment, Bird of Powerful Portal, where we don't have a clue what we're talking about until we start talking. How are you, Caralisa?
I am good. I've had the most funniest day ever. Funniest start to the day. Where do I start? So, as you do, I go to bed. I went to bed about 12:30. Bit after, so I did a little meditation, went to bed, everything's off, all the lights are off, check the doors, everything. And then I was woken up at 2:00 by this really loud sound, and it was music. And I was just like, I was about to like knock the neighbour's door. Like, what are they doing? Like the wall, you know, like why are they playing this music inside of the wall? And I've got a baby in the house. Only to like come round to be like, that music's in my house. Who's playing music in my house?
That would have freaked me out. That would have freaked me out.
So I was just like, why is there music in the house? Is one of the children up? What's going on? And like the words of the song was all I could hear was crazy, crazy, crazy. And I was just like,
No way.
I don't know like how to take this. So I phoned my daughter, I phoned her, right, my Aldi, woke up. I don't know, I was just lying in bed with the baby. And I was just like, I think it's better if we're all in one room. Maybe it's an intruder. I don't know.
Yeah.
I phoned my daughter. She gets up, bless her. And I was like, I just wanted to ask you, can you hear this or is it in my head? Like, and she was like, yeah, Mum, I can hear it. What is it? It's music. And I was like, where's it coming from? So then I was about to go downstairs and I was feeding my baby. And she was like, no, Mum, I'll go. And I was just like, could be an intruder. But she was really like brave, my 12-year-old. And she went downstairs and it was just the stereo had turned on its own. Randomly.
No. Things don't just happen on their own.
Like,
and it was blazing loud.
Blazing loud.
Oh no.
Blazing loud. Like it wasn't on full blast, but you know that time of the morning, everything's amplified anyway.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like in the 30s as in the number, but it was really loud. And I was just like, how can this stereo just turn itself on?
Wow. Wow.
So we had a funny start.
Things have happened. And what was the song that was playing?
So for some reason, which is even more bizarre, it was one of her old CDs, and it's a 5 CD player. And it was randomly track number 9, because we found that out today. And it was a One Direction, and I think it was called Live Till We're Young.
There you go. There's the message. You have to live while you're young.
Live whilst we're young, I think it was called. Live whilst we're young. So we kind of played it in the morning, and she was like, Mum, it's this song. And we were just giggling all day. Like all day we've just been giggling. I told my mum and she was just like, oh my gosh. I was telling my brother, because he came and stayed a few weeks back, and he was like, if that had happened, he would have been like, what's going on? This is a madhouse. He probably would have run out. So like, we were just, honestly, we were just laughing on our family chat today, just really, really laughing.
Amazing.
It's
I
been a
love
good
things
so
like that.
far.
At the same time, I would have been shitting myself, and I wouldn't have gone and looked. And yeah, I would have sent a child. Yeah, the oldest one. I would have sent him, go and see what's going on. Or Rufus, you go and see what's going on. He'd probably be like me. No, I'm not going out there. No good. No good. Well, at least that got you going for the day, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's
So
all
when I did
about,
initially get up, it was quite a high vibe anyway, because we were all giggling, and so it was nice.
I think there's a few messages to be had in that. And also it's about the unknown, isn't it? Being scared of the unknown and not knowing what to expect, and being brave and courageous just to go and take a look. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And how much do we embrace the unknown? Do you embrace the unknown?
In that situation, no, because I was kind of like pooping my pants, but keeping calm, like my facial expressions
You
calm,
have to
because
for the kids, yeah.
yeah. But it did teach me a really valuable lesson, because it just showed me that even in the mind of a 12-year-old, she was brave, right? She was brave
Right.
to take that step. She was brave enough to think, well, mum, it's just music, because she's got that innocence still. Whereas I'm thinking it's probably people breaking in, and like, who's going to break in with all that music anyway? So,
Yeah.
that morning that
Yeah,
you're
your
just.
head's all over the place. Yeah,
So that
definitely.
taught me a lot about being grounded as well in that moment.
Uh-huh.
I'm quite a quick thinker in an emergency situation. So while she was downstairs, I'm thinking, okay, who am I going to get up first if it's something like not so good? Because I've got another child in one room and two kids in another room, and I've got the baby with me.
Yeah.
So, like, it was teaching me about not to overthink situations as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Hang on. My living room TV done that at 1 a.m, just turned on. It was so loud, so scared to go downstairs and check it out. My 15-year-old boy was hiding behind me. I don't know who that is, because I cannot see. Oh, it's Naomi. Hey, Naomi.
Hi,
Hey,
Naomi. Thanks for
Angela.
joining us.
Hilarious. Hilarious. Yeah, that's me all over. I'm just, you know.
So I phoned her and I looked at the time, it was 2:02. So it must have happened like I woke up a few minutes before I phoned her, right? So then, just thinking, okay, so what is this message? Like, and it is all about trust, and that's been like a common theme. It's been quite a common theme about trusting, leaning
Yeah.
back, trusting,
Yeah.
so quite funny moment. But yeah, we weren't funny at the time, but we've giggled all day about it.
Oh, it's nice as well. And it's obviously brought you together even more. And actually, she must feel really chuffed that she was the one that went down and check it all out. I know if that was Tristan, he would be telling everyone about it. My mum couldn't do it, and I had to do it. And, you know,
She was telling her nan, my mom, and she was all, so it
yeah,
was a good
basking in it.
moment.
Good for her. Good for her.
Mm.
But no, I think
Walking faith.
having
Mm.
faith. This is it. And it's like, I was having a conversation the other day with someone, and they was talking about the unknown making them feel anxious, like just not knowing how to plan. And I said, okay, like, this is a person that has their whole world together. If something goes wrong at the last minute, mind blown. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
I'm like, no, it's cool. Everyone's different and everyone manages things. And she was kind of asking me how I deal with it. And I say, well, if things go wrong at the last minute, that's when I'd fully chill out, because at that point, what can you actually do? You have to just go with the flow of everything. And I said, why do you feel the need to know everything? Why do you feel the need to know everything that's coming up for you in your future? What will it actually change for you? You know, she said, well, at least you could like plan, and if you need money for something, you know where it's got to go, and all of this type of thing. And I said, look, think about it. When you was younger, you lived in every moment and you enjoyed every day, and your days were about discovery. You know, they weren't thinking about tomorrow or next week or whatever. You was in that child place of just pure discovery. And as humans, we are here to discover this life. We are here to discover everything that this world has for us. Some of it great, some of it not so great, but we're here for all of it. And I said, like, you know, I gave an example of, you know, my daughter was playing a game the other day. Well, it was a few weeks ago, actually. And she said, oh, Mum, we finished it. We've done the whole game. And I said, okay. And she said, we're going to need a new one. It was on the console. I said, well, why don't you just play it again? Because them things are not cheap. Do you know what I mean? Well, why would you play it again, Mum? We know how to do it now. We know how it ends. And we know, like, that's boring. And it gives you food for thought, because it's like, well, she's right. It is boring. If you knew everything that was going to happen from now until the end of your life, you knew what cards to play where, how to plan for everything, although in your mind you're feeling that's what you need, is it really? Because how much fun would you actually have in your life if you knew exactly what's behind every single door, you know? And I think it's important to bring it back to having fun, you know, and enjoying every moment, no matter what, because I could step out on the road and get licked down by a bus, and that's the end of Adele. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I thought I still had until God knows when. You know, so I would like to know that if that does happen, at least I lived those last few moments with a lot of joy and happiness in my heart, and finding the fun in absolutely everything. And just like out of the mouth of my innocent child, like, what fun would that be? It would be quite boring to redo it, because we know how to do it now. We need a new one. We want to discover. We want to discover. Look, come on. Another example. If you're into watching your series, your Netflix series, and you're really getting into the series, and then the next few episodes isn't until next week, or furthermore, the series is done and you've got to wait to the next series to find out what's going to happen next. It's all that excitement. Oh my God, I can't wait to find out. Oh my gosh, what's happened with Nick? I wonder if blah, blah. It's that whole excitement thing.
Yeah, the cliffhanger.
Yes. Yeah. Why does it make us like that? Because this is what we're here for. Yeah. We're here for fun. We're here for excitement. So it ignites our soul in such a way, you know. Whereas if we knew everything that was going to happen on every single program, we wouldn't bother, would we? It would be quite boring.
Yeah.
You know, so it's about living in each moment and understanding that the unknown doesn't have to be scary. It has to be fun. You can make it fun, you know, not knowing what's around the corner and what's coming up for you, you know. And yeah, it's kind of just falling back, really, has my favorite words to say. Just fall back, chill out.
I have got a spin on that though as well.
Yeah.
Because although it's about getting the balance, because although we played the game, and I had this conversation with somebody as well. We've played the game, and we know what's going on, but sometimes we need to master it. Because I've found, like, you know, sometimes I've done courses and things. I've done that bit. Let's move on to the next. Let's move on to the next. Sometimes I want to just move on to the next really fast because of the anticipation, and like, I just want to see what the next bit is. I just want to see what the next section is. I just want to see what the next portal is. And we don't embody it. So we don't know. Right. So for me, yeah, it's not fun, but sometimes you have to go back because you find out some other things. You know, when you've ever watched something over again, like, I'm not a very observant person when it comes to that, because I just like lose interest. I'm like, I didn't see that person in the background. Oh, I didn't see, you know.
You see different bits each time.
You see different bits each time. So it's like working the muscle as well,
Mhm.
right? So I think that's really important as well. I think it's really
Yeah,
important that we get the balance. But yeah,
yeah,
definitely live in that moment, have the fun, but work the muscle. Keep doing the work.
yeah, mhm,
Especially it depends on what concept you're using. So if you're looking at inner work, I think one meditation isn't going to get you to, like, for me, one meditation to reduce my anxiety was just not going to cut it. I had to
yeah,
continue to
mhm,
do the work and keep doing it and journal and doing it and doing it. And it seemed a bit repetitive and it did seem a bit boring sometimes. But what I got out of the other end, because that was the unknown, because I'd
mhm,
lived my life with this anxiety. So I knew what anxiety was going to be like. But the unknown was the scary bit because it was like, well, okay, well, when I've got over this anxiety, then what? What's
mhm,
life going to be like then?
yeah,
Right? So, like, I do see the balance on both
yeah,
sides.
definitely.
But
And
yeah, let go.
it's a sense of achievement, I feel like, when you actually do come out and step into the unknown and get the breakthroughs. It's like, wow, I would have never have known if I just carried on in my shell, stayed there, because it's safe. It's what I know. It's
Mm-hmm.
where I can plan. It's where everything is in its place, how it should be. You know,
Yeah,
I would never have known. And I had to step out to know that there's so much more, you know, huge sense of achievement, growth, confidence, all of that stuff comes into play when you step into the unknown, you
yeah,
know? And like, for the audience, like, how many of you actually are daring? How many of you will take a chance on things? It sounds good. It sounds really good, but oh, I don't know. Or it sounds really good. You know what? I don't know, but I'm just going to do it anyway and just see how it lands. How many of you can say, hand on heart, that you live your days like that, you know, not worrying about things that you can't control?
yeah.
Because we get into that state, don't we, of things are happening and we can't control it. And then we get into that low vibration because it's making us feel anxious, nervous, depressed, whatever. And then we get into get back in our shell. Feels good there, you know. Um, and then it's kind of like, if you can't control it, why are you trying to still? Like, I was watching something the other day, and the way he said it, I probably won't say it right, but I'm just going to say it how I know it, right? So he said, from the moment we are conceived for 9 months, right, we don't have no control. We fully are, we have everything that we need. We have everything that we need to grow inside our mother's wombs, for our brains to be created, for our limbs, for, our personalities, all of these things for 9 whole months. Okay. It's like, it's trusting in God. However we are made is however we're meant to be.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's almost like the moment we're out into this big wide world, we have all these conditions put on us almost straight away, you know, when we're fed, when we're clothed, when we're changed, you know, all of this sort of thing, when we're put to bed, as babies, as kids, everything is we're not in our place of just being.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um, and it's kind of like, it's what he was saying is, why can't we try and be a bit more how we are when we're inside the womb? In that, obviously, we have to deal with life, right? We're grown people here. We've got responsibilities. We can't just sit around for 9 months and not move and just think, well, everything's happening. But just letting things go and not sweating the small stuff, because we come into this world and then we try and control our worlds so much so that we end up in tatters a lot of the time. We end up
Mm-hmm.
out. Just let go of the will for a moment. Just see where it takes you,
Yes.
and just understand that if it feels good, you're in a good place. If it feels bad, then you can step away. You know, it's not like you're forced. Does that make sense? It's like if people
Yeah.
are doing the same things and not enjoying it, why are you doing it? Okay. Like, free your mind, free yourself up. We was created for 9 months with, you know, just freely inside there. We were being created. We had our own personalities and everything. Our bodies are amazing. And we were attracting into our worlds exactly what we needed for world on the outside.
Yes.
So we have all the tools.
Mm-hmm.
But how much are we kind of like aligning ourselves to the places where we want to be and
Yeah.
the people that we want to see and be around?
Yeah.
You know,
And it brings you back to that faith of a child.
yes, it
Because
does.
if we become more childlike, just like what we said at the beginning, my daughter just was like, okay, mom, you stay there. I'll go and have a look and turn the stereo off. She had faith that she was safe. It was because of my life experience and things that I've been conditioned to, and obviously being more caught up with politics, you know, the news, and, you know, the little things that you grow. As you grow, you get more aware.
Yeah.
That was making me a bit anxious. But she was ready to walk. Yeah, I'll just go and turn that off. You know, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, but, you know, it's all good. Even because I called her, she didn't even feel like it was weird.
Yeah.
And it's not something that we practice. So it's not like, well, mom wouldn't normally do that, so it must be something really bad.
Yeah.
She just went with it. She heard the calling. She got up. She delivered. She walked in her faith with her tiredness. You know, and she just went for it.
Yeah.
It was me, and that's the thing, like, that's one of the lessons I learned today. We hold ourselves back and we hold our children back. And I've learned that more since I've been home educating as well.
Yeah.
Because of the conditions.
Of course, yes.
Because at the age of this, you should be doing this and you should be doing that. But actually, you may not be doing this, but you're doing all that, which is far more than what, you know, if you want to put it in years. You're not year 1 material for maybe the reading, but you're year 5 material for creativity. You're year 5 material for whatever else, geography, history, but you just haven't grasped that bit. You haven't worked with that.
Yeah.
But because of all of the conditioning, like you said, we try and put everybody in a box and say, well, because you've got to meet this criteria at this age, children have to go to bed at this time, which I am down for.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm down for a bedtime. Okay. So
I love a bedtime.
Pretending like I am not down for a bedtime, because I am down for a bedtime. Okay. So just to set the record straight. But when you do look at it from a different point of view, it is a lot of conditioning, social conditioning.
It is definitely like an example I said to you earlier when I messaged you, and I said about my son. My son, you know, it was diagnosed with SEN. So he's, you know, got certain things that he's absolutely fantastic at. But when it came to schooling, he was behind. He never spoke. He's now, hang on. He's going to be 7 on the 2nd of April, right? When we went into the first lockdown, up until then, he never spoke. He would say the odd word. He'd say like mum, or he would like point to things, and then I would give it to him. So you might as well say like 5 years, he weren't speaking. And then during that first lockdown, he just started speaking. It was almost as though he had all the words, but he didn't feel like saying them until he felt like saying them. Now, don't get me wrong, his speech wasn't great. He was speaking like as though like a child who's just started speaking, but he was speaking. And for me, that was just a huge celebration. And when he went back to school, they were even shocked, you know, because he was getting speech therapy and other bits and pieces at school at the time. And, you know, this year I decided to take my kids out and homeschool them. So from January this year, I've been homeschooling. And at the beginning, it was very much the children. I thought, right, let the children lead, because I want them to feel happy doing what they're doing. So Ava Grace, who's 9, she would set up the room almost like a classroom, get like chairs out, have their little desks out, all these little things, because to her it made her feel like she was in school, and she'll be like, Mum, you sit up there and you tell us what to do, like I was the teacher at the front of the class. That's how it was. And we had to work like this. I went with it. We had to work like this. To say for the first month, it was pretty much that's how we was working. Now we work totally different. It's very much, I could have one child in the kitchen, one child in the bedroom, one child with me, whatever. It's everyone's all over the place. They come to me when they need the help. They go back, do the work. They come to me and they show me what they've done. They go back and do some more. And that's how it works. And it flows and it's nice and it's not all regimented. We do our affirmations every morning. We meditate every morning. We connect with crystals. We do all of these things that they wouldn't have done at school. We don't have like the normal break times, like let's go out and play, it's 11 o'clock or whatever the first time break was or whatever. And we don't have the normal lunch time. Sometimes lunch happens after school's finished, and we finish school at 2:30. And so we just kind of flow, and it's so much better this way. But one thing that I've realized is that my son, where I was putting him, so he's almost 7, and then my youngest is 5. So I was basically giving him the same work as her, because at school, that's the kind of level he's on in year 2, but doing kind of year 1 type work. And then I noticed very quickly that he could do all the work that she could do. So I started then giving him the work that's for his year, if you like. So they have like maths books and stuff that they go through, and they do all the work in it. And there was one project in there where he had to basically, there was a picture of a rocket. The rocket was split up into different parts. All the different parts had different math sums on them. Some were subtraction, some were addition. And the answers were at the bottom, and they had colors underneath them. So you would basically color in the answer, if that makes sense. So the wings could be red because they're both equal 4. Does that make sense? So it was that kind of a thing. So I'm explaining it to him, and he's not looking at me. And I'm saying, Harper, look up, look at this, look what I'm saying. He's like, Mum, I know what to do. I was like, okay. I didn't think he took it in at all, right? He's gone off. He likes to work in the kitchen. He's gone off in the kitchen. He's come back. He's coloured it all in. And at first I thought, oh, he's just coloured it in, how he wants to colour it in. Then I started looking at the answers, and I realised he'd totally smashed it. He'd done it, and he's done that to me a few times in the last couple of weeks. And it's like I've underestimated him. And I know for a fact that they wouldn't have given him this type of work if he was still at school, because he'd still be doing the year 1 type work.
Yeah.
So for me, it was like, all of this where we're conditioned, like Caralisa says, it's almost like, we do control our kids and how much they can learn and how much they can thrive. And we're ticking boxes when really we should be allowing them to lead, allowing them to show us what they want to do, what they feel attracted to. If they could do that now as children, instead of waiting until they've done all their education, uni and all the rest of it to be free, as it were, then can you imagine how they're going to be by the time they're at that age?
And we have to believe in quantum movement, because it's only been a few months for yourself. I'm also a home educator. It's been a few months, but because we as parents, and I can speak about myself, like I have kind of limited the children too, because I'm thinking, well, you need to do this. And I'm not thinking, actually, today you might be year 1, but tomorrow you might be year 3. Because that is the same that happens with spirituality, is it mirrors. Quantum, big leaps can be taken. So my 5-year-old Zion, he's a character. He pretends like he doesn't know stuff. And I know, he knows things, and he pretends like he can't read, and, and then like we'll do little tests, like my mum will read, like get him to read, and he'll read like 2 books. And this morning he was like, Mum, I'm going to read 4 books. Okay. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because sometimes we pray or we meditate or we try and manifest and we write it down. I want this, I want this. And when we get it, we can't even handle it. Have I got time really to be sitting down listening to you with 4 books? books.
Yeah.
Like, I'm keeping it 100. Do you know what I mean? Like, no, I don't want to sit down and listen to you read 4 books. I've been praying for this for over a year.
Yeah.
Right? My children haven't gone back to school since the first lockdown. So I've been battling with him and knowing that he's got all this potential, but I've just had to wait and trust for it to drop in. And now it's dropped in. It's like, my hands are full. Universe, can you take some of it away? I don't know if I can handle it. So that was another life lesson as well today. Because why do you want the things? Do you want the things because I want to tick the box? Because I want to say, all right, I can do this spiritually, and I can do that, and I can do this on the physical, and I can do this for my schooling. I can read, I can write, I can know places, countries, and people, and all sorts of things. Or do you actually have that desire for it?
Yeah.
Because the truth be told, I didn't have the desire for him to want to have these quantum leaps. I just had desired for him to read.
Yeah.
But I didn't trust that it was going to just be like, boom.
He's
leading me. Mum, okay, well, I can read. He's got these book packs. I thought there was here. And it's level 1, 2, 3. I think there's, and 4. And I think there's 8 books in each. And I'm taking him through level 1. He's like, Mum, I can do level 1. I can do level 4 if I want to. Like, you know, we've had these books since 2020. I've been trying to get you through each day, you know, reading simple 3 little words, and he's looking at it and he's like, And I'm like, does he understand it?
Yeah.
No, he understands it. He just doesn't take it in the way that we expect. It's my expectation, right? My expectation is that he's going to sit down and be like, cat, bat. And he's like, he just knows it. He wants to jump to level 3 now in his reading. You know? And he's more than capable to do so. So, like, there's been a lot of life lessons about trusting, quantum leaping, and being careful, being really specific about what you're asking for. Because although that's just a silly example of the reading, I had to look at it from a spiritual point of view and think, well, I have been like meditating about this because I've been reading books. And they're saying, you know, children by the age of 7, if they don't have the interest in work, they lose interest and it's very hard to get them back. And boys are delayed and and all this research that isn't specific to my child. It's done probably 20 years ago. It's outdated, but I'm still holding on to it. Well, this research says, so this is to be true. Actually.
And that's just us because of how we've been conditioned, and even where we had to let go where it came to homeschooling, you know, because although I made that decision to homeschool and I was set on it and me and Rufus had agreed on it and the kids were happy with it, when it started, it flowed nicely, but I did have days, I did have bumps in the road. I still do, where I'm like, have I made the right decision? Because we've been conditioned for so long. We went through the whole of schooling and secondary school and, you know, further education and stuff like that. So we've been so, and then when you meet people that have kids that are in normal school as well, and they're talking about how amazing their kids are doing and all of this, and they've ticked this box and that box and they got this certificate and that certificate, and you're like, okay, I'm wondering if my children are thriving that much. How do I know? You know, you get back into your human head. I literally had to know. I know my kids are thriving because I know, because they show me every day with the things that they talk about, with the things that they're wanting to learn, with the things that they're actually learning. You know, Ava Grace taught herself how to play the piano in like a day, you know, and now like the music lessons are weekly and she does her music, her piano, and she's totally smashing it. And this was self-taught because I can't play the piano. I ain't the music teacher.
That's Zion.
She just literally went on YouTube, saw the keyboard and said, right, I'm going to learn this. She started with Baby Shark and she started then playing like Titanic and Lionel Richie music, all of this sort of stuff. And she's done that on her own. She wouldn't have had a chance to do anything like that at school. You know, I would have had to pay for private tutoring to have her play the piano. You know, all right, she's not no flipping
Alicia Keys.
Not yet.
Not yet.
But she aspires to be like her. In fact, I think her birthday is the same day as hers, so you never
Oh,
know.
wow.
She loves Alicia Keys, but you know,
Yeah.
my thing is just allowing and just not worrying and not looking. Let me bring it back. Let me say that again. Not looking at what everyone else is doing. Because when you look at what everyone else is doing,
Yes.
only stop yourself.
Yes.
I can't express, you know, and Facebook is the worst for that. Facebook and Instagram, I'd say more so Facebook than Instagram. Because you're so busy looking at what everyone else is doing. Oh my gosh, I was going to do something like that. Oh my gosh, like she's doing it now. And oh, but what if she thinks I'm copying her? Or, oh, I've noticed I've done a similar post and she's got more likes than me. And you get so caught up in your head. You just got to stay in your own path, on your own vibe. And with the blinkers on, just doing what you need to do. Show up on Facebook how you feel to show up. You don't need to jump on every day. That's for to build up the algorithm and get the likes and get people watching you. But if you look on in this group, I don't post every day, you know, but I still get clients. Okay. I still get people in my inbox. Okay. So it's all you have to go in with the flow of who you are. Because my flow and Caralisa's flow are two different flows. How we're going to show up on our own platforms is going to be very different. You know, so it's important that you don't get put off by what other people are doing. I could have quite easily sent my kids back to school after a couple of weeks at looking at what some of my friends were doing and their kids and how great their kids are doing. I could have quite easily have done that, but I had to trust.
And that's the same, isn't it? When we bring it back to like spirituality, because like we've been conditioned, me and you, we know that we've been conditioned and we're trying to break out of this conditioning. And that's the same for many of us on our platforms. We all on this path of trying to break out because we were told that when we speak to ourselves, that's mental health, you know, talking to yourself, you know, or when we hear something and we think, right, well, spirit's saying to do this. Is that spirit? Is it not? Is it my head? Like, you know, and then you're looking at other people and you think, well, no, that person doesn't do that, so I don't need to do that. Like you said, it's all about learning to break out of your paradigm, your old ways, your old beliefs.
Yes.
Knowing what works for you. Maybe pulling cards for you work every day. I don't pull cards every day. I hear what I need to hear. I hear from song, right? Because we're going crazy in this house.
Yeah.
Like spirits always worked through me, through song. Always. I've always known that. But for somebody else, it might not be that way. So what a song might mean to me isn't going to be the same to somebody else. So if I post and say, oh, okay, this song, it doesn't mean that it's gospel, because I say, okay, when I hear this song, that means that, yeah, that's something bad's going to be happening. But that could be your go-to song. That could be your, you know, your everyday, like, memory song. It could be your wedding song. But that could be a song that means something different to me. And we just always got to bring it back to ourselves and be true to ourselves.
Yeah, definitely.
Because like you said, when you start looking elsewhere, and I tell you something, everybody had to homeschool in March to July. And then I made the decision in September 2020. And I tell you, the hardest part of that was going on Facebook and every person had that photo in front of the door.
With the new school uniform.
My heart.
Yeah. Like, am I doing the right thing? Yeah, yeah.
And I just had to trust.
Yeah.
And I had to trust that, okay, well, that's their path. My path is, and I know that I don't want to stay still. And I don't want to have to keep answering. And if I look back, even when you just look at school, and when I look back, I never wanted my children to have holidays when the holidays. I always took them out of school anyway. You know, and I found myself having to do these little lies and these little, you know, to get the extra days. And it's like, Spirit was like, no, you're doing all that because it's out of alignment. You know, I want to go to, I don't know, London in July, the 1st of
Mhm.
July, right? I'd have to be asking the teacher, and that was just totally out of me, out
Yeah.
of myself. And I've been privileged enough to um, work if I want to in my day job anywhere around the country. So
Mhm.
why not take that? Because obviously everything's lined up. And if I want to continue in my spiritual business and expand it, I can also work anywhere around the country, anywhere
Yeah.
around the world. Right.
Mhm.
So it's all about what's good for you. And I know for yourself, you can work anywhere as
Yeah.
long as you've got the internet, you know? So, like, it's all about what works for you and keeping those blinkers on. And we're coming into that spring and we're going to start seeing fruition because everybody's been planting different seeds. And it's not feel like, oh, she's got daisies and I've got daffodils, you know, like be grateful. Your daisies or your daffodils or your buttercups or whatever flowers you've got are yours. Run with
Mhm.
it. Run with it.
Mhm.
Because, yeah, it's good to have the roses, but roses have thorns. Are you ready to hold those thorns?
Yeah.
The person who's got the roses, they've probably had the daisies, the buttercups, the daffodils, the dandelions. They've gone through their stages and they've got the power in their hands now to be able to hold those thorns. And
Mhm.
it doesn't mean that a rose is more, you know, because we're conditioned to believe roses are so beautiful over a buttercup or whatever.
Mhm.
Actually, they're
Yeah.
all beautiful.
Yeah.
They're
Exactly.
all, you know, alchemized in a beautiful way.
Yeah.
You know, like some people, you know, we see as well, especially in the coaching industry, people celebrate themselves, and I'm all for it. And I celebrate people. They reach their goals, but not everybody's goal is to do 100,000 day. Not everybody can hold that, hold what
Mhm.
it takes, you know.
Yeah.
People look at me, and I guess you've probably had that as well over time. Not that I've ever asked Adele before now. Like, how do you do it? How do you have 5 kids? But that's not everybody's dream. But that was my dream.
Yeah. I always wanted a big family too.
I
Yeah.
always wanted a big family, and actually, I wanted 8. So we
Mhm.
stopped.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so
Well, you still got time.
anyhow, anyhow, my jeweler,
Oh, don't.
like everyone's dream, and some people's dream was just to only have one, but it doesn't make their family any less. And some people just didn't want any.
Mhm.
But we all, it's still beautiful. Whatever we, do you know what I mean? Whatever we want to manifest, whatever we
Whatever
want, and we have
decision.
to always remember that. Because
Yeah.
as we come out, like me and my friend had this thing where, like, it comes to these light days, right? And you start seeing that the white walls aren't white, you know?
Mhm.
You start seeing
Yeah.
that the doors need painting and stuff. And we, like, especially last year, we were really on it. Like, we were painting from January till March, basically, and getting
Mhm.
ready for the spring. And that was, I had a reason for that. I was nesting and I was really getting into it. But not everybody that works for. Some people, their time for upgrading and re-evaluating and redecorating is the summer because
Mhm.
they want to do it when the time's warm. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Mhm.
And it can dry quicker and blah, blah, blah. But it's all about what works for you. Doesn't matter if your time's the winter, yours is the summer, yours is, like, we need to really bring it back because, like you said, Facebook is a platform that you see a lot of unauthentic, because you think, well, it is the full moon today, so I must do something for the full moon.
Mhm.
And we get caught up again with the conditioning. So we leave one paradigm of conditioning, which is the schooling and the working and the 9 to 5 and the this and the that, into another. We step into business and we think we've got to do it this way, and every post has got to be the same, and all the spellings, you know, and we get into, do you know what I mean? We get into that frame of mind.
Yeah, get into your head, basically. Drive yourself crazy.
And
And
there's
it's
no
really not
thinking.
worth it. Because actually, most people, like just going back to your posts and stuff like that, most people like to see that human side. Oh, she's made a mistake. or she's doing a live and it's not so perfect. Everything's just how it just needs to be. Like my kids, I've just heard one run through the hallway. That child could run in here screaming, shouting, whatever. I can't be like, oh my God, brace myself. I've got to just go with the flow. If that's what's meant to happen, then that's what's going to happen, And I think people they get so caught up, and it stops them from progressing and taking that next step, taking that next leap, trusting, walking into the unknown, because they want to make sure that they've got everything they need. I say that it's a bit like making sure you're fully qualified before you start stepping into that world that you want to be in, and people can become quite obsessed by it, the certificate. I need to have all the certificates first. Once I've got all the certificates, then I'm going to start doing that. Once I've got all the certificates, then I'm going to start working, and then I'm going to start meeting people in that community. Then I'm going to start sharing my gifts. Then I'm going to... Why are you waiting for certificates? If you have a gift, if you have knowledge to share, if you have whatever it is,
life experience,
the life experience. And most of the time, it's life experience that we do share and that we do use to help others, because people want to see that they can do it too. People want to see that it's achievable. Certificates are amazing. I'm not poo-pooing them or anything, but all I'm saying is, don't wait for certificates to happen before you start walking in that path. Put yourself in and around that community and start doing little bits. You can even talk to people about the journey there, what you're doing, all the things that you're doing to change your world until you get that certificate, if you like. But just start. Don't wait for certificates, because all that's going to happen is you look at all the certificates and then it's like, right, now I've got to do the work. Let me get back into my shell, because I don't know how to do it. I just, even though you're fully qualified, more than capable, you're more than capable before the certificates. You always had it in you, I
wouldn't say that I poo-poo certificates.
No.
But I do have a different take on it, because if we actually knew that the gifts that we held, individual gifts, were 5, 6, 7 generations deep. Yeah, we can do meditation after.
Expect the unknown.
Expect the unknown. If we knew that they were 5, 6 generations deep, would we need to? No, not right now, because we're not doing the meditation, Baba. She's ready to do her bedtime meditation. We would value our gifts, and I've spoke about this before, because it's our DNA, and yes, our certificates do help us to activate that and recognize who we are, because we are in this human form. But essentially, our gifts come from before us. They were birthed before us. And many of us can look at the patterns and say, actually, my mum does that, or my nan does that, or my great nan. I say, Zayden's got it. If we knew that, then we would probably value ourselves a bit more.
Oh, yeah.
And we wouldn't look so much left and right. So, yeah, by all means, go and get your certificates if that's what's alignment for you. But just remember that the gifts come from your nan and your great nan and your great great nan.
They're embedded in you.
They're embedded. They just need activating.
Yeah.
And when we started this, it was more to help ladies in particular, or just people in general, because of the morale of how things are. And when we started this, obviously the politics of the world wasn't the way that they are today. But we know that as a collective, it's not the certificates that change things. It's the power that we have within us, right?
Yeah.
On my bed, and she keeps on annoying me, and I don't want to.
Another. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And we would acknowledge that, you know what, we're invaluable. This is priceless.
Yeah.
You know, just like our features are priceless, they're individual to us.
Exactly.
So yeah, I just wanted to give that little devil's advocate, because I'm a Libra, everyone. So I always try and find the balance.
Balance, of course.
Under my art.
Yes, yes. But no, it's so true. It's like just believing in yourself and believing in the gifts that you hold and just doing them, you know. And if you know you've got something inside you, because, you know, I've had people come to me before and they're like, oh, I know I've got these gifts and I really want to start bringing them out. I'm not in a position financially to start. You know what? You can go on YouTube. There's meditations you can do. There's, you know, even knowledge, lots of knowledge on YouTube, on TikTok even, that you can get that will help to activate your gifts, that would help you to understand how to unlock your gifts. Okay. You know, if you're determined to do it and you're ready to do that, you know, but you're not in the financial place to invest in a coach or in a course or anything like that, just go online. Like, there's a sea of things online that you can be involved in, you know, and just trust me, something will drop. It could be the one thing. It could be, you know, that you want to start doing cards. It could be tarot. You're drawn to tarot cards. Go online, find out how tarot works, you know, what the cards mean, you know, start looking into tarot, reading about it, putting yourself in it, and then go through the cards yourself, feel into the cards. What do they mean for you? What do they come up for you? Do them on yourself. What cards are you getting for yourself? Start doing them on your loved ones, your nearest and dearest. And then from there, you'll realize, oh my gosh, I'm bang on the money. You know, I done my dad's cards and it was bang on the money. I done my sister's, it was bang on the money. Do you know what? I'm going to start putting this out there. Do maybe 5 or 10 for free. Advertise it online. This is what I'm doing now. I can do 5 or 10 for free. You know, everyone loves a freebie. You'll definitely get people coming to you for a reading. And especially if you're saying to them, this is your first time doing it in public, you know, people are then open. They're not going to have heavy expectations.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So just start
keeping it real, right?
Yeah. And it like what Caralisa was saying about working the muscle. The more you do it, the more you're in that energy of doing those card readings, the more easy that energy will flow. The more easy you will pick up the messages you need to pick up. The more easy you'll be able to use, you know, your intuition to decode all of these cards and give the message over, you know. But you have to work that muscle and you have to trust that you can do it.
Yeah.
You know,
trust is just the theme. The theme of the month is trust.
Definitely.
It has been for me so far, and I think it's probably the theme collectively, picking up on the collective energy.
Yeah. I think it's the theme of the year, to be honest. Because, like, even though I'm in a position where I am, I now have to step outside of myself again very soon and do things that I don't know, you know, that is unknown. I'm always growing, always expanding.
Yeah.
The difference is, years ago, I would have been less inclined to want to. I would have been like, oh, yeah,
I'm all right where I am and be stagnant.
I'll do it when this has happened and that has happened and the kids are this age and this is blah, blah, and everything's perfect. Then I'll do it. Instead of just saying, I'm just going to do it now and see what happens. Especially if there's nothing to lose and everything to gain, just go for it, you know?
Yeah. And we have to take those leaps.
Yes.
We have to take those leaps and be grateful for whatever we've got in our basket and look only at us, where we're coming from. Be grateful for us.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've got a bit of back. Can you hear it? It's a bit like feedback.
I can't hear it on this side.
Like, we have to be grateful for us and just stay in our lane, stay focused.
Yeah.
Because I'm seeing it a lot at the moment. A lot of people seem like they're wobbling. But are you wobbling because you've got something to wobble about, or are you wobbling because you're looking at Annie over there? Annie, are you okay?
Yeah. Annie's okay. She's doing her thing. Do you know what I mean? Annie's definitely okay. You need to do yours and not watch Annie.
And Annie isn't anybody that I
Be
know.
like Annie and do your own thing and
Do
don't
your
watch
own
anyone else.
thing. And Annie isn't anyone I know, but as a nurse,
Yeah.
that's the name of our doll, right?
Oh,
We
okay.
practice. Yeah, Annie.
Ah.
Most of them will call them Annie. You do your CPR on. So
Yeah.
Annie's okay. Okay. Annie is okay. I'm quite led. I've just been shuffling some cards. I'm just
You
gonna
know what
pull
cards
one.
I brought out today?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I've got these cards ages ago and I've never used them.
And the other day I was like, I'll have one of them. Come on. You're buying
They're
these stuff
these
for when you're
ones.
using
They're
it.
beautiful. The Starseed Oracle. And I just love the box. I love the way it opens, you know.
They are beautiful.
Very nice. So we're going to pull a card for the collective and see what it's saying. What is it the collective need to know?
So if you watch this on replay, this will still be
Yes.
as much fire and intention. And I hope you've been able to get some clarity and some worth with our chat. We've designed just to come on and just make sure it's just, chilled. We relate it, spirituality isn't detached from your everyday living. So,
Oh, no.
That's one of the things that we want to really get across to the collective. It's not separated. So, we're just talking about home educating at the beginning, or, me and my 2 a.m. wake up and taking that leap of faith and having, so
Yeah.
I hope that you've been able to gain value from our chat, and we will be coming on more often. We've got a lot of back office stuff going on. For those of you that don't know, like we've got a retreat in a few weeks.
Like 3 weeks, isn't it?
Yeah.
3 weeks till our retreat.
3
That's
weeks.
just come up so quickly, but really looking forward to it. And we
It
still
was
have
really nice.
daytime tickets for those that are interested. You can come along for the day if you can't commit to a whole weekend. The daytime tickets, I think, are 222. We did do a special yesterday for National Women's Day.
Yeah.
But yes,
I'm ready. Mine
do you want to
jumped
go
out.
first?
Yeah.
Oh.
So I'm taking from the Moonology Manifestation Oracle deck by Yasmin Boland. So it's that one.
Yes.
And if you know anything about me, I don't have a lot of card decks. I like to just go with it, right? So the one that fell out for the collective was a new moon in Capricorn, step up and lead. So I think that is just the whole conversation from talking about my daughter who stepped up this morning.
Yeah.
And just an illustration for all of us. This card, it's got mountains. There's mountains in the background.
Yeah.
So that's for all of us. We've all got mountains to climb. All of our mountains look different from each other. But we all have to take that step. We have to take that leap of faith, and we have to trust. Because if you look even at the card, there's just a glimmer of light. So just imagine going through like a dark path and just having that little glimmer of light. Like that's just your lead, just that
little bit of hope, a little bit of
hope.
Yeah.
All that's needed, and a little bit of faith, and one step at a time. Step up and lead. That's me.
Well, my card, I love it. I love this one. I don't even think I've seen this one before. I've gone through this pack a couple of times on my own, and it's called Cracked Open. Look how beautiful that is. Like she's literally cracking open. And it says, rock bottom, surrender to the alchemy of life.
Oh, how juicy is that?
Surrender to the alchemy of life. So for me, what I get from this is that some of you may be feeling like you're at rock bottom. Even
Yeah.
some of you that may have been
The
in a
mountain.
place where you were flourishing, now all of a sudden you might be feeling that things have changed and it's taken you on a different course, and you may be feeling that things are at rock bottom. And this is what I was talking about with the trust. Things might seem bleak. Things might seem like they're not moving at the pace that you want it to move to. But please be true, and please, surrender to the alchemy of life, and just understand that the reason why you are here at this rock bottom is because there is so much more for you.
Yes.
If you're already up there, you understand, you're down here. There's so much more ready to pour into you. You're cracked wide open. Look, literally, she's cracked wide open. Inside of her is full of light. Behind her, there's light. She's surrounded by light. Okay. And it's for you to just trust and let the light pour into you. Yeah. Let it all pour into you so that it gives you that faith. Find the happiness in every second. Don't worry about next week and how you're going to pay those bills or how you're going to do that thing. You know, just think about today. Look around you, where you're sitting now, and just look at all the things right now that you are feeling grateful for. It could be the little thing. It could be your laptop. You know, it's a really nice brand laptop. I'm so lucky to have that laptop. You know, it could be whatever it is. The sound of your family laughing in the background. You know, the show that you're watching. You've got Sky, you know, and you can watch that show. Not everyone has Sky, that privilege. You know, so all of these little things, find gratitude for in every moment. Pick yourself up, move your body, and just bask in that energy of joy and happiness, and just trust and surrender to your alchemy of life that everything will be fine soon. You are on the right path. You don't need to know the answer to why you're at rock bottom right now, but just understand this is how it needs to be right now, but it's not forever. Okay? I love that card. I seriously love that.
That's beautiful. And I think it just together, I think they're just beautiful.
Yeah, they
because
are.
you've got the mountains and you've got the being cracked open. Like, you know, it couldn't have been a more alchemized reading, you know, because you have to step up and lead. Once you've been cracked open, sometimes we do focus, don't we, on the pain, the pain of being cracked open, but the light, like you said, that's beautiful, that card is.
Yeah, exactly. I love it.
It's so beautiful.
I like these cards. I think they're my new faves. After they've been sat there for so long. Desolate. But
Destined to be.
Yes. Anyway, ladies, I hope you've enjoyed this. And if you're watching this on replay, please hashtag replay so that we know that you've joined us. And
we're gonna say hi to you.
Yes. Yeah. And like Caralisa said, I hope that you've taken something from today. And that's the whole point of these shows, is for you guys to take something from it, even if it's just the smallest thing that was said. But yeah.
Have a
Take care.
Wednesday and just enjoy the rest of the week. It's Wednesday, isn't it? And enjoy.
March is steaming through. Like, I feel like it was just the 1st of March. It's just steaming through.
And just, you know, take something and rewatch this if you need a little bit more encouragement for the rest of your week. You know? And just
definitely
just bask in that gratitude.
Yes.
Just bask in it. Have an amazing evening, ladies.
Amazing. And take care. Big love to you all.